Alright, so in this one, we are going to be doing my top 10 list for part 2 of the Dragon Ball Legends 6th anniversary. We have now had the release of the new Ultimate Gohan and God Goku as the LFs, and then obviously you got Evil Boo and Beerus as the newest characters. And, well, quite frankly, just going to go over this right now since you don't see him here. It's because he's not here, he's not my top 10. God Goku. Let me just touch on the baseline reason he's not here. All this character does is damage. That's it. Not saying his damage is bad. I'm not saying his damage is amazing. It's not otherworldly, right? He does solid damage with ways to vanish more, but also in that same regard, his kit literally is counterintuitive. He is much more of a burster and kind of enter and then burst and get that gauge and then get out, kind of like Super Vegeta, right? In that same regard. But he wants to also stay in because he has vanish back so frequently. It's just a bit counterintuitive. But nonetheless, that's fine. It can be that quirk. It's not terrible. It's just a quirk that exists. But he is just damage, which all these units here you will see do damage. And on top of that, they have much more utility. Let's look at Super 17. He is, one of the bottom units here, right? And his thing is, he has offense utility and a bit of defense utility. He's canceling buff effects when there's big moves. He can go defense neutral when the enemy swaps. He has offense utility in that he's sealing XYZ cards. Like, he has good utility in both senses. And his damage is about the same as God Goku. So he would be higher. And that's, again, one of the lower characters on this list. So for me, even if he is 3 stars, I've seen 9 stars, I've seen 12 stars, I've seen 14 stars. I've seen a lot of Star God Gokus up against me, or just from other people's videos. Like a Ryuden video, I saw that one, and there was a clip there that he did 800 counter strike to a goddamn feet coup with CMZ debuffs, or rather CMZ support, with the God Goku. Like, it's a tough road for God Goku right now. Even if he has low stars for me, I just would see the value easier. With Gohan, while he's in low stars, I saw his value immediately, and he was also 3 stars. So, it's just not there for me. Is he close? Sure, I guess, in a regard. But top 10, no. I do not see it. Just touch on that because he's here. You see him. He's right here. He's vibing over there, but he's staying over there. He is not making this list here in a regard of top 10 mannerism. But to get into it, let us begin. So, for 10, I actually have 2 units tied. It's a lot of units in number 10. You could have Shin here. You could have these 2 units that I'll have. But for what I have, you have Green Revival Gohan and then Evil Boo. So, Green Revival Gohan, he has now made core hybrids. Core hybrids now having actual 3 units, with this guy being a solid 3rd of Revival safety. Hybrids right now is very good against the likes of Super Vegito, which is a very top 5 unit still, even if, double green hybrids does exist. Vegito is still that guy. It's just pure hybrids is very good against Vegito. In that merit, it also gives more value to Ultimate Gohan, to Ultra Gohan there, because they have more safety in double endurance and revival. This Gohan does solid damage, nothing crazy. He is more or less kind of your sack away unit, kind of a Pikkon, Orange Piccolo type, but in his own merit of damage, it's still solid, it's still good. And again, he's a core, while also Zenkai buffing arguable best unit in the game. Like, it's just that easy for him. Hybrids, again, has a actual solid trio, which allows the pure equips, which allows just a lot of amplification in every setting to a better extent. So, he makes top 10 because of that. Then Evil Boo, I don't know if he slept on, I don't know what it is, but I do feel like Evil Boo is very good. Majin Buu Saga is a genuine team, in my opinion. You look at Ultimate Gohan, Super Vegito, and then Evil Boo. Evil Boo is much more ranged on his stat spread. Gohan, same thing. And Vegito is a even stat spread, so you can build him range type, even has equips that are pretty solid for a range-based build. So you're chilling on that. Majin Buu Saga has safety. This guy could cancel the buff effects as well as Ultimate Gohan when there's big moves happening, so Vegito is safe. Ultimate Gohan can make that safety. He could make safety for Ultimate Gohan, and even more so than that, his ultimate. That thing is an AoE. That hurts. If that's neutral, he's hurting you. He is murdering souls. It is insane what this guy can do. Obviously, he's star dependent. He's defense type 14 stars. That's going to be the thing you really care for with this guy particularly. But he does great jobs. He does pretty good combo disruption. And even more so than that, I would say, if nothing else, that main ability, kind of like CMZ's where he's nullifying endurance off that main, it's super strong, right? Obviously, there's only a few cancel buff effect units, Ultimate Gohan obviously being one of them, yes, but there's only a few that exist. So having that CMZ kind of main, CMZ had a lot of value with that. Well, Evil Boo is the same exact thing. He has a lot of value because of that. And also his ultimate, didn't even mention this, but what, removes Dragon Ball, steals Rising Rush, like, it's a strong ultimate, it really is. On top of Blast Cover, we have Ultra Gohan, we have Ultimate Gohan, Wyoming, we got strong units, so that are range types, so Blast Cover, it is pretty important right now, especially because Ultimate Gohan only has Cover Null on his green card. You could let Evil Boo cover in and then kind of, a little bit more safe than not. But, number 9, as I was mentioning this character, he's here. Number 9 is Super 17. I do think he has a better home than not. The video prior to this is literally his best team, where it would be him leader slot on a hybrid setup, and then it's just a super toxic team, right? You have, obviously, Ultimate Gohan there. You have Ultra Gohan. He still is pretty good with Ultra Gohan because of, again, what, this Evil Boo does. Super 17 does the same exact thing. Cancel buff effect. If there's big moves, cancel buff effect. So he has that in his ability to kind of weed off the unsafety measure of no revival there. But, I have Ultimate Gohan in. Okay, Super 17 lowers sub count by a bajillion on these big moves. And on top of that, you also have Ultimate Gohan, who could just come in to take a rush, or Ultra Gohan, because their endurance nullification is gone. So you have that there. And damage is not going to be as good as it once was. He's off boost. He's not on this double, triple Zenkai setup anymore. It's just not the place you need to run him. But he's still pretty competent in his own sake. The ultimate still hits very hard. His, again, offensive utility, you could call it, is very strong, very oppressive, especially when you have this guy entering with a lot of ki. Ultimate Gohan enters a lot of ki. You could do a drop combo with Ultimate Gohan's main ability, and you have a lot of damage already prior with that whole combo. Boom, drop combo raw ult with Ultimate Gohan, because Super 17 comboed so long, you're going to force swaps out. That works amazingly. Or you do the same exact process with Ultra Gohan, green card, drop combo AoE green card that works a lot of the time. Boom, you have a combo reset there with these units just entering with a ton of ki. This guy gets his gauge. He has a billion ki. It's a very good spot for Super 17 still, even though you would think he's not needed right now. That's probably accurate. I don't think anyone below probably 8 is needed, but how good he can be on hybrids, I think, is a value that is there and puts him a little bit above the 2 below him, right? But number 8, let's actually take a coffee sip here, because this character, I do enjoy this character a lot. Okay. Number 8 is going to be El Da Baby. Yeah, Baby went down. Think of it like this, where Ultimate Gohan, you're going to see this with another yellow unit very soon, by the way. Ultimate Gohan, while he is purple, obviously you would assume, okay, Baby could go up. But then you read Ultimate Gohan's details. For 1, you can run with Super 17. That's just a thing. For 2, the more important thing, which matters most, is that Gohan is canceling that neutral, whether it be the situation, or rather becoming neutral, I guess, whatever really is the case that's needed. Whether it be that Baby's going to do his ultimate, okay, Gohan's neutral during it, so he's going to be fine. Or Baby's going to do a blue card, okay, Gohan's neutral during it, so he's going to be fine. Baby can't, snipe out just, oh yeah, I can OHKO this purple, kind of like, okay, here's Golden Frieza. I can just blue card him from long range and one-shot him from full, 100-0, boom. I don't know if Baby even does that, but if he could, that'd be more likely on Frieza than Gohan. Gohan is much more safe against yellows than I've seen any purple be. Obviously, I'm not referring to tag units, but you're just looking at a baseline purple. This guy is, he doesn't really care if you're yellow for the majority of them. There's 3 yellows that are going to be here, right? You see them. The one that should be the best against him actually isn't, which it's kind of shocking. Baby just kind of goes down in value. 1, he's just not common enough. I love the character. I think he's great. I kind of switched up my take on him because I saw him more, started using him more. It was awesome. But I can't deny, if Ultimate Gohan's neutral every time, well, why do I even run Baby? It doesn't really seem conducive to anything. Baby setups are fine. You can run Baby, Golden Frieza, CMZ, but his value doesn't go crazy up. It goes kind of even to a little bit down. New units are better, so Baby has to go down because those units are better and they're newer, just kind of how that works. But he's not going anywhere crazy. Yes, he's moved down, but the purple doesn't care about yellows. I mean, if that's the case, then there's nothing you can really do about it. It's just how it is. So that's where it is for me here. Number 7 is going to be actually a pretty close one. I think number 7 and 6. I was debating for a hot minute here, but I did come to the conclusion that I have CMZ number 7. CMZ is very strong right now. Obviously, you look at this list, you're like, who's a blue? Okay, Vegito. Exactly, that's it, right? Vegito is obviously an op to CMZ, but it's nothing crazy. You can do that green card into just spamming out cards, or a green card to a strike into an ult. Boom! He's probably going to kill like 95% of units in the entire game because he'd be neutral during that whole entire setting. And CMZ has pretty good teams. Whether you want to run them on fusions, you want to run God Key, really not great, but fusions, sure, a little bit better off. Or especially PO. PO is pretty strong. Again, you could run Golden Frieza, CMZ, whatever third you want. If you want to run Baby, sure. You want to run Evil Boo, sure. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. Your third does not matter at all. You want to run Vegito leader slot on PO, blue, red, purple, sure. Whatever. Do your thing. CMZ, very good value. One of the best LF Zenkais we've ever had in recent times. Not, those OG 3-coup FSK times. More like the 4-coup, LF Rose, Evo Vegeta, UI Omen. We're talking these times. CMZ is definitely having super strong value. It's impressive. It really is. CMZ did not have a thing of his plat being great, and then his foundation that was like, oh, he could be like this top tier, but they did it. Hopefully Kid Buu gets kind of the same treatment, because Broly got a little shafted. Felt like a top 20, top 25 unit LF Broly, but CMZ, oh, he got the glaze. So maybe we'll see that again with Kid Buu. Kid Buu wouldn't run with this guy because he's much more blast bases, but who knows? CMZ, very strong. Maybe goes down a little bit in his abilities because of Ultimate Gohan existing, that thing with Evil Buu and CMZ having that endurance null. On main, while it is strong to most of the game, it is weak to some of the game. So maybe he goes down a little bit because of that, but it's hardly a thing. It's one part of his kit, and his very strong kit. So yeah, it's nothing crazy to dwindle him. But continuing on, once again, I had these very close together, these two characters. I have it. Number 6 is Mr. UI Goku. Yes, once again, you would think Ultimate Gohan, well, I keep calling him this top 2 thing, then UI Goku must be high. Well, 6, I think it's pretty good. I don't think it's terrible. Once again, I think anything below 8 and below kind of is a unnecessary tier, or kind of a luxury tier. You don't need them, but they're good. They still do their job. It's just these units above them are much more a necessity than not. Though UI, I struggle with UI. I'll be honest, I haven't faced him a lot recently. You would think, again, Ultimate Gohan, he's purple. Well, we're going to face UI, we're going to face Gogetas, we're going to face yada yada yada. If anything, I face much more Gogetas than UI. UI can't snipe Ultimate Gohan, really. That's kind of the dilemma with him there. Because think of it like this. Okay, let's say he locks in on, prior to main ability, but he locks in, does the ult. Well, Ultimate Gohan's neutral, so he's not going to die. He can't die. He has endurance, and he's neutral anyways, so he's not going to take, that much damage. Then, let's say UI pops main ability, and then is spamming out Blast and keeps going and going and going on Blast. Then he could kill Ultimate Gohan, but you also want to do that Ultimate, and you're kind of wasting, maybe not wasting, but you're using his main ability to kill a purple. UI having to use his whole ass main ability, which is very strong, especially when someone's dead, just to kill a purple, to have that endurance nullified by spamming out Blast. For one, that's pretty hard to let Ultimate Gohan even get caught in that situation. It's just, it really isn't that easy to do. But for 2, I think that kind of just bumps Ultimate Gohan value to where he's making a whole ass yellow waste their whole ass main just for the purple that's disadvantaged to die to the yellow. Because what you have to do there is spam Blast. You have to spam Blast with UI. You don't have enough Blast, you're not killing, then you just wasted the whole entire main ability. So while he is good against Ultimate Gohan, he's not as great as you would figure, just kind of on paper. This unit locks in, he's yellow, that's a purple. He should murder him. Well, no, that's not the case. It can happen. It's not very common from my experience. It can happen. Doesn't happen enough. This is not, by the way, UI downplay. It's just explaining why he's not higher because of that. He does not do his perfect job you would experience or expect from that experience to Ultimate Gohan. Well, he does it fine against, Golden Frieza, sure, or even against other units that are less able to take his hits. It's just not as ideal as you'd figure. And that's why he goes to 6. Once again, 6 is not a bad placement. 6 is a fine placement if you're looking at everything here. Look at everyone else that's here on these, bottom 5 characters remaining. Yeah, UI Goku being 6 is pretty solid. Again, I was very much debating CMZ or UI. I still think to a degree you could put CMZ above UI. I don't think they're necessarily too far apart there, It's a tough one. I really could see either or, though. Nonetheless, we will continue up to number 5, which I have it being LF Gogeta Blue. Yes, finally. It's taken him a minute to get here, but, you know, a new purple does drop. This yellow, particularly, is much better because, now, I'm not saying he's perfect. He's not. I'll point out the issues with it, but he's much better just because Gogeta Blue hits fucking hard. I mean, Gogeta Blue himself hits hard. Now, I don't know how to feel about his teams. Again, you can run God Key, kind of inferior. You can run Movies, pretty good. Your third is a bit wishy-washy, because yes, God Goku could be your third, but then you have God Goku who's hella selfish. Pre-GB is hella selfish. How do you really make that work? It's a bit tough. And then Fusions, I guess that could work as well, but then you have no safety. His teams aren't the peak pinnacle, but how good he is against Gohan, I do feel it gives him more value than, let's say, Goku. Well, Goku clearly is on, like, Sun Family and shit like that. That's a great team. Gogeta Blue in his own, I think, just easily destroys. Like, Gohan cannot tank just raw strikes, auto assault chain from Gogeta Blue. Really, nobody can. I guess CMZ could, but that's the thing. You're not running Ultimate Gohan with CMZ. So you have this guy just free out, kind of doing whatever he wants. Against most teams, Gogeta Blue is free. Like CMZ, while I think he is top 7, I don't think he's very common. Super 17 in that same regard. I don't think anyone really below 6 is that common. So Gogeta Blue really is just kind of flowing around free as fuck in most games. It sucks because most people are just throwing him away and they're saving their Super Vegito instead of Gogeta Blue, from what I've experienced, which is very dumb. Like against pure hybrids, people will do that. It's just like, that's the worst play you could ever do. Please don't do that. But we'll point out some flaws with Gogeta Blue. So Gohan, I know we didn't get to Gohan yet. We will. But he does have a situation which hurts Gogeta Blue probably the most of anybody on these yellows here, where he has a cover change on greens and blues. I had a match, my last video. There's a match where Gogeta Blue is trying to do a green card. Ultimate Gohan covered in. It's only twice. But it's twice, that's a lot, right? You don't want to waste it early game. You don't need to waste it early game. For God's sake, don't even have a dash forward green in early game. Blue card, okay, whatever, who cares? Just let someone else take it. Or Ultra Gohan could just stop it in its tracks because it's Ultra Gohan. But having that green-blue card cover change, especially against Gogeta Blue where he's forced to assault chain, he doesn't have much cover null, it's a bit tough. It's both tough for both fusions, but a little bit more tough for Gogeta Blue because he doesn't have too much of a utility. He kind of does strike me as a God Goku in a sense, because God Goku is much more just damage, not much utility. Gogeta Blue has some with like the impact damage reduction and the vanish back main, some things, but it really is much less utility on Gogeta Blue than, let's say, Super Vegito, as you would compare them 1-to-1 as they're both Part 1 LF Anniversary headliners. But Gogeta Blue still has value. It's not to say his value is worse, it's just, for God's sake, he went to 5, right? But if he had just a little bit more going on in his kit, I could see this guy being probably above Super Vegito, really. But it's just that there's so little going on, you can still get covered. Ultimate Gohan, while he is a lot easier to kill with Gogeta Blue than any other yellow in the entire game right now, that's just how it is. It's not 100% there, which more goes to a testament of how good Ultimate Gohan is, by the way. That's not really Gogeta Blue's full fault. While it could be better, it's not his full fault, it's just Gohan is Gohan, so Gohan is broken. That's where it is. So number 5 will be Gogeta Blue. Yellows, stocks are there, but you see Ultimate Gohan's not listed yet, so that probably means he's pretty solid for a purple if there's 3 yellows here. But number 4 is going to be Ultra Golden Frieza. Yeah. This was a tough one, also with Gogeta Blue and Golden Frieza, I will not lie, because you're running them on the same team. You could run, again, Golden Frieza on a PO setup, sure, why not? Probably PO is better than Movies to a degree as well, because the safety, as you could offer, again, the CMZ freeness on PO does exist, comparably, and then you had that color synergy with purple and red there. But nonetheless, Frieza, super strong. He has returned. He returned today, actually. I do recommend, if you don't own him, really you should summon PO. If you have CMZ Zenkai, you have Frieza, you just leader slot somebody, right? He has Ultra, what is it? His Ultra, whatever it's called, the damage buffs he gets, up to 30%, is, what? PO. So you just leader slot somebody, you run a PO team, you have CMZ Zenkai, who is 3 years fucking old, which you probably have. You have Golden Frieza, then you leader slot Vegito. Boom, you're set. Boom, you leader slot Gogeta. Boom, you're set. Leader slot God Goku. I don't fucking care. Leader slot somebody. Boom, you're set. Frieza has much more ease of accessibility to his entire teams there. And then more so than that, comeback is just such a stupid mechanic. It probably still is the best mechanic in the game. That's on a meta unit. It just does its job way too well. This guy still hits very hard. He's not, conditioned to a ramp up setting. He just, okay, I enter, I'll have infinite greens, I'll auto combo, infinite combo, and murder. Yes, there is 3 yellows. I can agree with that. But CMZ is always running with Golden Frieza, and then there's only 1 blue to offset that 1 red. Yeah, you can understand why Golden Frieza still has crazy value. Again, comeback really is the most value out of his kit here, especially if you do that neutral ult. When he after comebacks, you are going to murder an entire bloodline, if it's a yellow or not, because it's neutral that ult, right? It's going to be very tough to live. Golden Frieza, very high value. It's just simple as that. Comeback is broken mechanic. God Goku should add comeback mechanic, or revival, one of the two. Would have been very nice. Shit, God Goku would probably be like top 6 if he had a comeback mechanic with the same exact kit, but comeback mechanic. Really, he would have been there. Just, once again, he lacks utility. But, nonetheless, number 4 for Golden Frieza. And then we have 2 hybrids in the top 3. Fantastic. Funny enough, they're actually going to be in the top 2 because number 3 is Super Vegito. Now, once again, I have mentioned that he is pretty ass against a hybrid team. Sure, he can do his rush, he can do the thing to proc revival, get damage, get Dragon Balls, yada, yada, yada. But in a grand scheme, he just is struggling against hybrids. Just, he's a blue, there's 2 greens. It's not, rocket science here. It's a tough time for him. But there are other teams. You run PO, you run Gaki, you go run movies, you run whatever, Majin Buu Saga, I guess, Saiyan Saga. These are teams that actually can be used and are decent enough to be used, and teams I see, and he's good against all of them, right? Vegito still has his crazy value. It's just his value has gone down a little because a unit is literally countering what he's meant to do. If you have a unit that cancels buff effects, also has endurance, or can not even have endurance, and then has endurance ally, well, yes, the buff effect of nullify endurance on rush has less value. Just kind of common sense. So Vegito has to go down a little. Not to say he's bad because he went down a little, but he's going down a little because he's just less necessary in a setting. You don't need him every singular game. Sure, you might run into him a lot. Shit, you might run into him more than Ultimate Gohan. But it doesn't mean he's a necessity at that point. He is just a super solid unit that lost a little bit of their shine, their glimmer. Really, the reason Vegito exists as his kind of one-up move that's just different than others is that rush. Same thing with Gogeta Blue with his Assault Chain. That's why Gogeta Blue goes up a little bit because of what his kind of coloring situation is right now against Ultimate Gohan, while Vegito, his coloring kind of hurts him instead, and even his mechanic kind of dwindled a little bit. So, not saying Vegito's bad, for God's sake, he is number 3. But the value goes down because his mechanic kind of got, not shut down, just shut out a little by a character that's in the top 2. Speaking of top 2, I do actually have it being Ultimate Gohan as number 1. I have Ultra Gohan as number 2 there. Let me explain. Ultra Gohan, yes, it is Gohan Ball Legends because it's Gohan. What do you expect? He's not anniversary worthy, by the way, Ultimate Gohan, but here we are. Ultra Gohan, what do you think? Really? Come on. We just got a great partner for him. They are 1-in-1 the same of partners. There is no reason to never not run these two together. Whether you want to run, Vegito 3rd, or UI Goku 3rd, or the Green Revival Gohan, or Super 17, these are all units you can run as 3rds. Vegito even stats. UI Omen, much more blast base. Super 17, much more blast base. Green Revival Gohan, much more blast base. You can run all these characters together with them. They are meant to run together as a duo nonetheless. And they pair amazingly. You have Ultimate Gohan, who does his blue card and makes a green card. That green card is going to help Ultra Gohan do his AoE green card, and then combo reset. Ultra Gohan also being immune to pre-Vegito's Key Destruction there, or rather, card destruction there. You can just stand out 2 blasts. Let's say you land a green card, and they swapped in. You drop combo green card, they were swapping into, pre-Vegito, because they were scared of your Ultimate Gohan continuing his combo. Then you did a green card with Ultra Gohan. Boom! 2 blasts dead. They can't swap, they can't do anything. 2 blasts dead. Because they swapped, they're not neutral. Boom, they're dead. It's silly. It really is. The synergy these two have is very strong. Obviously, you do have the cancel buff effect, which, with Ultimate Gohan having endurance in his own nature, it's good for him, but it's also good for everybody on his team. Clearly, Ultra Gohan gets kind of success from that as well. So it's buffing one another. They're just becoming strong for another. I would say actually Ultimate Gohan is much more buffing Ultra Gohan than the other way around, but they're very strong together. I will say this though, Ultra Gohan Last Man Standing, he cannot have his neutral canceled or his endurance null. So if you were to fight an Ultimate Gohan and you rush him with Ultra Gohan, Last Man Standing, Ultra Gohan can be rushed by Last Man Standing Ultra Gohan. So that's nice. Very strong there. Again, that neutral cannot be canceled, so you can just do your ultimate and probably Ocom at that point. You got 2 ults at that point, right? Save him ability, got 2 ults. Last Man Standing can still do his job and be the Gohan that we all fear. But he's number 2. Number 1, this guy is lowering ally sub count. This guy is supporting. This guy is team healing. This guy is doing crazy damage. This guy is running crazy pure equips because the Shenron equip and then his own hybrid pure. It kind of needs a little bit better third equip, I won't lie, Ultimate Gohan, but you know, Legends Ranking Plat kind of fits its role for now. Even crazy teams. You got hybrids. You got Sun Family. You got Majin Buu Saga. Again, Majin Buu Saga is not a bad team. I know it doesn't sound like it's going to be something crazy, but just think about it on paper. You got number 1. You got number 3. Then you got arguable top 12 unit, most people would say, for Evil Buu. Top 15 for Evil Buu. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty solid team, right? Like, that just logically makes sense. So you got those teams running for him. He does everything. His support, by the way, is all generalized. It's not like he's specific to hybrids or Sun Family or Majin Buu Saga. It's everyone in the fucking game can get it. He's essentially a new LS17. He's LS17, and LS17 could do, and I'm not talking Super 17, I'm talking Tournament Power 17, could do damage. That's what Ultimate Gohan is. I mean, that's just how it is for him. I remember using him at low stars. He was doing crazy. Obviously now, got him at high stars, 9 stars here. He's still doing amazing fucking work. And no, if you're going to say they're interchangeable, I do not agree. I cannot agree. I think Ultimate Gohan is doing way too much utility in his own merit. Obviously, Ultra Gohan has a utility in his gauge and his endurance and, you know, the sub-count manipulation, sure. But the overwhelming utility of, again, support, of, again, team heal, of, again, sub-count manipulation, like, that is much more frugal to an entire sense. And, by the way, to an aging sense, that's amazing. Like, Ultimate Gohan should out-age everybody on this list without even a shadow of a doubt. He obviously will get worse than some other units as they come out, as they're newer, sure. But it would be very surprising if this guy did not outage everybody. Again, he is a LF Tournament Power 17 that does damage. It's just the simplest way to do it, simplest way to word it. He does exactly what he wants to do. He does everything he wants to do. He has infinite advantages, it feels like, with that green card. He has infinite blue cards, it feels like, with his blue card. Just green card into a blue card, then you get a green card into a blue card, then a blue card from the green card. It's just fucking crazy. It doesn't even spawn that, but it feels like he does. This guy's fucking crazy. Even when he's prior to his attack gauge with that USG type of gauge there, it doesn't really matter. He still does very good damage. And if he's not doing crazy damage for you, well, you have Ultra Gohan right there. That's exactly why he would still be number 1, because his partner is number 2. It just makes too much sense to me. Overall, though, when I think of my top 10, once again, as I did mention in the beginning, there are units you could have in this 10th spot. There's quite a few. Again, I would say Shin, maybe Nappa Vegeta. I've soured on them personally. I have not seen Nappa Vegeta do enough in my own matches. I don't own them, but I fight them quite often, comparatively to what I thought I would, and they just don't do too much. So maybe they could be there. I don't personally see it, but maybe. Beerus, I'm not too confident on, and Green Broly, he's the list a little bit below tier. I would say Beerus is the worst of these 1%, though, for sure, compared to all of them. But that is my top 10, 10A/10B, so top 11, technically, is Green Rebel Gohan and Evil Buu. 9, Super 17, Baby, number 8, CMZ, number 7, UI, Goku, number 6, GB, number 5, Vegeta Blue, Ultra Gohan Frieza, number 4, Super Vegeta, number 3, Ultra Gohan, number 2, and Ultimate Gohan, number 1. When I think of my top 10, top 11, technically, list of the second part of Dragon Ball Legends 6th anniversary, I'm curious how this will change in part 3, and then kind of look at all 3 tier lists and see what happens. I'll see you guys at the next one.